What's going on, football fans? It's time once again for another rendition of the Pound for Pound. I'm your host, J.R. Clark, and today we're going to be recapping the Buffalo Bills game this past Sunday. Man, that was a game, and not in a good way. That was a game that reminded us yet again that how this team, or pretty much any football team, cannot sustain a whole bunch of injuries. We were already going into this game without our starting right tackle, without Vic Beasley, without Courtney Upshaw. So there was, three key players down right there. And then by the end of the half, you were down Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu. And then Ricardo Allen was also out. So you had some extreme key members of this football team was out and not playing. And so the optimistic side of me says that with that many players down and it taking a horrible call by the refs for the Bills to win this game. That's the optimistic side of me. That's the side of me that wants to look at the bright side and try to find the silver lining. Okay? You had what should have been ruled an incomplete pass. I mean, to the point that the announcers on TV were saying that should have been an incomplete pass. And they tend not to side very often with the Falcons. It's been my experience anyway. But that could be what some people call my homerism, But that throw should have been an incomplete pass. Now, I'm not saying we would have done anything with it. I'm not saying we would have marched it down the field and scored another touchdown. But I am saying that they wouldn't have got those 6 points. Or 7 points. If you include the field goal. That wouldn't have happened. So, you take 7 points off the board and we win that game. Now, with that being said, as a professional football team, you can't leave it in the hands of the refs. That is a recipe for disaster every time. We convert that 4th and 1 there towards the end of the game, going for a touchdown, possibly, there's your game winner right there. No refs needed. Some people want to say that, the Micah Hyde interception late in the second half when he was trying to throw it to Taylor Gabriel, that ball shouldn't have been thrown. Matt Ryan in the past couple games does not look like his MVP self. Now that could have a lot to do with the fact that you have essentially a rookie at right guard and you have a backup at right tackle. So maybe he's not comfortable. I don't know. But he's looked a little off, which is fine. He looked a little off at times last year. I'm not saying that the guy's got to be perfect. You won't ever hear me openly bash Matt Ryan like some people do. I won't do it. This is a team sport. If the offense is going through a lull, the defense needs to pick it up. Because Lord knows the first part of last season, the offense carried the defense. So, it's a team sport. It goes hand in hand. So you won't hear me openly criticize one player for one particular thing too often. Unless it's absolutely crazy and egregious, then I might. But for the most part, this is a team sport. There's 22 players that play this game, at any given time. So somebody could have stepped up and made a play. If somebody's not playing well, somebody else needs to step up. You hear them say it all the time, next man up. Well, next man up, didn't work so well on Sunday. Now, I will say our defense played okay. They played decent. That one drive that Buffalo had in the second half where I think they had the ball for over 11 minutes. That's Buffalo's game. That's what they want to do. They want to hold the ball. They want to pound it. That's that Sean McDermott, what he saw work in Carolina, he's taken to Buffalo. So kudos to them for being able to execute their game plan. We go into the bye this week, which is great. Hopefully coming out of the bye, we'll have Beasley back and Schrader back, and Ricardo Allen back. Speaking of Ricardo Allen, I really hope that the people who have been on Ricardo Allen's case lay off. Because you see what this defense, in essence, looks like without Ricardo Allen. Am I saying he's Earl Thomas? Am I saying he's a superstar? No. I will never, tout that Ricardo Allen is Earl Thomas. But he is the leader of the back end of that defense. He gets guys in the right spot, to make a play, to be able to fly around. And you're also seeing the fact that this defense is really built to play with a lead. That's why that fast style works. If you can, but it's predicated on stopping the run. You stop the run, hopefully your offense has a big lead. Now you can tee off. You're forcing players, quarterbacks to make bad throws and quick decisions. We saw what happens when this defense is working great, a la Green Bay, and a la, for the most part, Detroit. But you've also seen what happens when this defense doesn't necessarily click on all cylinders. The Chicago game and the Bills game. I will say this though. Last two games, the last two games we probably should have lost. And we came out of those two games 1-1. You have those games every year. No matter what the squad you got, no matter what team it is, no matter what division you play in, you have games you should lose that you end up winning. So I'll take it. Out of a couple games we should have lost, we're 1-1. Some people want to argue every game but the Green Bay game we should have lost. So a lot of people want to argue we should be 1-3. Honestly, I think at worst we should be 2-2. But we're not. We're 3-1. We're going into the bye, and we have a chance to get some key players back healthy for the Miami game. A la Ryan Schrader. A la hopefully Ricardo Allen. Hopefully Vic Beasley. Sounds like if it was anything other than a week 4 game, it sounds like Julio would have come back in. So it doesn't sound like he's going to be out that long. So that's good. I mean, because the second half of that game, your top 2 receiving threats were Taylor Gabriel and Justin Hardy, with Andre Roberts and Nick Williams backing them up. My hope is that when they go into this bye, that they seriously take a look at the lack of use for Austin Hooper. I really thought that he was going to play a bigger part, and maybe he still might down the road. I have no clue what's going on at Flowery Branch or anything like that. But hopefully after some self-scouting, maybe, they'll realize they've been focusing in too much on one certain thing over the other. But a couple of shining points out of this particular loss, out of this game, is A, we got a bye week. Hey, bye week. B, the run game for the third straight week still looks really good. Matter of fact, the run game was pretty much our offense against the Bills, which is saying something because they've got a real stingy defense through 4 games. Their defense ain't no joke. Had I done the preview, I would have, echoed Toby's sentiments that the Bills aren't kidding when it comes to defense. We played into their style of game. They wanted a slow, methodical, run-the-ball game, and that's what they got. Run the ball, and pound the defense. That's what they got. So, but our run game is still looking real good. I mean, I think there's a few little issues that Matt Ryan hopefully will correct, and we'll see. I mean, going into this makes the 3rd consecutive pre-bye game we have lost under Dan Quinn. So I don't know if it's just something where Dan Quinn's message is, hey, let's just get through this game. So I'm not 100% sure what his message is. But apparently there's just a lack of focus right before the bye. But hopefully they can get this corrected in the bye. Hopefully we can come out and put a whooping on Miami, and then hopefully follow suit to what Carolina did up in New England and put a whooping on them. Winning cures all woes. Just remember that. If you're frustrated now, you're frustrated because they lost. Had we won that game, you would have blown it off as another game we should have lost, but we won. So that's all I got to say about that. Just remember, rise up, keep liking, commenting, sharing. We have had a few people posting some pretty rough stuff in the comments. Me and Toby have tried to be on top of that, trying to delete it and get rid of that stuff. We ain't got time for no BS like that. So if you've seen it, hopefully you just rolled your eyes and realized that people are idiots all the way around. So, but if you do see something like that, you can, message us, let us know. We'll get rid of it. We'll delete it. But y'all have a great night. Rise up. Bye week. Come out strong. Woot.